Assalamu alaikum again. And this is the second part of the video about fasting. And in the previous video, I stopped at is it optional to fast? And I say that it is not optional, it is obligatory. You have to fast, you don't have the option to choose. And except for a traveler, a sick person, pregnant woman breastfeeding, or woman in a state of menstruation, and or postnatal bleeding. Now, people who have excuse are divided into two types. Some have excuse from fasting. They're not required to fast, and they cannot fast. What does it mean? It means that if they fast, their fasting is not considered to be fasting, not acceptable. They will still have to make it up. And those are a woman who is, in the case of menstruation, in her period, she cannot fast. If she fasts, her fasting is not counted because Allah has given her permission not to fast and say, no, you do not fast, wait until you are your period end, and then you can make up your fasting. And Allah has given her an excuse also not to make up her prayer during that time. And a second is a woman also in a postnatal bleeding. When they fast, their fasting are not considered to be fasting. So they have excuse not to fast, but they should not fast and they cannot fast. The second is a person who has an excuse not to fast, but that person can fast. And for example, a breastfeeding woman or a pregnant woman, she has the excuse not to fast. But if she feels that she will be okay and she's ready to handle the difficulties of fasting, she thinks that she has strength to do that, her fasting is acceptable. Is accepted even if it is not the best option for her, but Allah will accept that. Same thing for a traveler. Traveler will say that I have the strength to fast, and if fasting will be accepted. So he has an excuse not to fast, and he can fast, and it will be accepted. Now that if you fast, and the thing that you're not supposed to do when you're fasting, what about if you do that? You eat, you drink, or you have intimate relation. What do you have to do? Those who break their fasting in Ramadan intentionally, if you do these three things intentionally, you will be there are two categories, or not two categories. There are a few situations, and depending on the situation, the rule will be different. You have a type of breaking fast that you have to make up your fast, and you have to fast or pay the expiation, which is called kafara. What does it mean? It means that if I intentionally break my fast in the day of Ramadan with no excuse, it is not enough only to make it up after Ramadan. There is a kafara. The kafara is that I will have to make up that day, and I will have to fast to fast 60 days continuously. I will not miss one day except days of Eid or when I'm sick. If you miss one day, you have to start over. That's the kafara. If you cannot do that, you have to feed 60 poor person. So breaking your fast intentionally with no excuse in the day of Ramadan, you you will incur a sin because you disobeyed Allah, and you will have to make up the day, and you have to pay an expiation by fasting 60 days or feeding 60 people. But scholars do not agree in what type of breaking fast lead to this. For the majority, any way you break your fast, you will have to do these three things. You have to make it up. You have to pay your kafara, and there is a sin in that you need to ask forgiveness for it. For Imam Shafi, is when a person breaks the fast only with intimate relation that he has to go through these three things. Another situation that if you break your fast, you will have to only make up your day. You don't have to worry about expiation, kafara, or there's no sin in that. And this is when a person is sick and he breaks his fast. There's a situation where if you break your fast, there's no sin, but you have to make up a day, and you have to pay a compensation, which is fidya, and I will cover that tomorrow when I will be talking about the fasting of elderly and chronically ill people. How do they fast, and how do they compensate if they cannot fast? Now, I want to just mention some masail, or some cases that are mentioned in books of fiqh. One of them is that if a woman is in her period and she feels that she wants to fast, can she take pills that delay or stop her period? If she does that, will she have to fast or no, because she was in her period? Scholars say that is okay if she takes a pill and she's not in a period anymore. She can fast. When you're traveling, you have the option to break your fast or to fast. And there is a debate among scholars which one is better, to fast or to break your fast. And you have this excuse even if you're traveling in a first class where you are resting in good condition. You still have the permission to break your fast. If you are very old and you cannot fast, you have the permission not to fast and pay compensation for each day you did not fast, and I will come back to that, inshallah. Some people works in have restaurants, or they are chef, and their job requires them to taste the food, because if you are a chef and you don't taste it, you will not know how the food tastes, and you risk losing customers and losing your job. Or a woman who's cooking for her family, and she know that her husband has a bad temper, for example, and she doesn't want to go through this drama in Ramadan. Can she taste her food? If she tastes it, or a chef, can he taste his food just to know that the food is okay? Yes, they have excuse to do they have excuse to do that. You can taste the food as long as it is on your tongue only. You don't swallow it. Chef, or you work in a restaurant where you are required to taste it. Some people have jobs that are very difficult in the summer, in a country very hot, and they have to go out, carry heavy weights, and they are sometimes in a situation that they cannot, they have to break their fasting. If they don't do that, they will be in a very bad situation. Here, and assuming that they don't have any other option for another job, and this is their job, how they provide for their family. They have the excuse if they are in an extreme thirst where they need to drink something, they can break their fast and make it up. Another mas'ala is that can you brush your teeth when you're fasting? Yes, you can do that, even if it's not the best. The best is to use siwak to brush your teeth, but if no, you can brush your teeth, but make sure that you don't swallow any of the toothpaste. I will stop here and come back in a third video, talk about Taraweeh, how we can pray Taraweeh at home. Sometimes we don't have enough Quran. So I will stop here and start a third video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.